next kind of big point I would like for you to pick up is that one of the purposes of dimension reduction is actually noise reduction. Sometimes by reducing the dimensionality of our data, we actually get a more clear picture of what's going on. In order to do this, it will help if I can write the matrix multiplication of the singular value decomposition as this sum of outer products. Now you may recall this nightmarish expression from one of the boot camp linear algebra exercises. Everyone hates that exercise. I don't blame you. I didn't particularly like working it out either. But if you worked it out, then you're comfortable with the fact that if X is equal to this matrix U, D times V, and I partition the matrix U into columns, U1 through UR. So in this expression, I'm just saying U1 is the first column of U. I partition the matrix V into rows. So in this expression, I'm just saying I'm going to call the second row of V transpose, V2 transpose. Then this matrix multiplication amounts to this sum. It's a sum of outer products of columns of U times rows of V. And I will visualize that here. So X is equal to the sum of each singular value times a column times a row. Again, a column times a row is an n by p matrix. So this is the sum of our n by p matrices. So the result will be n by p. And by using this sum, we can convince ourselves of this argument for noise reduction. Now, this is going to be a little bit loose on the intuition, but I need you to bear with me. What I want you to do is think about these components here as being like basis directions. They're like basis matrices. You can actually view this as a coordinate basis representation for the entire matrix X, where the sigmas are the coordinates and these U1, V1 transpose are these basis directions. Now they are matrix basis directions. And the components are ordered by the magnitude of the signal. So the amount of X that is pointed in this direction is sigma 1, and that is the greatest amount of X pointed in any direction. And then sigma r is the amount of X that points in this basis direction, and that's the smallest amount of X that's in any direction. And so we think about these coordinates as saying how much signal or information of the matrix X is directed along each basis direction. And it decreases as you move from the front of the sum to the rear of the sum. But anytime we have signal, we inevitably have some noise. Our data is going to be an imperfect depiction of reality. If we assume that there's no pattern to the noise, that it's uniformly distributed in every direction, right? That's the description of white noise. Then what we're saying is the amount of noise in each of these terms is the same. So putting that all together, it means that the amount of signal in each of the terms is decreasing. The amount of noise in each of the terms is the same. And so the signal to noise ratio is higher in the first terms. And the last terms could be mostly noise. And so if the last terms have more noise, then we won't lose much information by omitting them. And we may actually lose a good bit of noise. And that's an inherent perk of dimension reduction. So what that means is I'm just dropping off. Anytime I project onto components and I see that approximation of my data, what I'm really doing is just chopping off the last terms of this sum. I can see that visually as kind of further increasing the striped portion here from R down to K, where K is less than or equal to R. And that would give me this very skinny SVD, the truncated SVD. And no longer is my matrix equal to this product, but it's approximated by it. And we'll get to see this in action visually, what it looks like when you chop off the last components of a matrix, how it actually affects your matrix and what it's trying to tell you.